best budget phone out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search now on Flipkart.
राहुल तेरी वजह से पूरा प्लान कैंसिल हो गया। रहने दे।
सुन, बडीज के साथ क्रिकेट स्क्रीनिंग का प्लान बनना फास्ट, सेम प्लान कैंसिल होना उससे भी फास्ट। उसी क्रिकेट मैच के स्कोर अपडेट्स ESPN क्रिक इन्फो पे मिलना सुपर फास्ट। सुपर फास्ट स्कोर अपडेट्स के साथ और भी बहुत कुछ मिलेगा।
For fast scores and a lot more, download the ESPN Crick Info app now.
A lot can change in 48 hours. There was no hissing or dissing on Thursday evening as all of Bangladesh came together to support Sri Lanka so that they could pave the way for Bangladesh to reach the Super Fours at the expense of Afghanistan. Here they are now. Expect all the bite to be back. Expect all the venom to be back because a lot is on the line starting now. The Super Fours of the 2025 Men's T20 Asia Cup kicks off with Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. And we build up to the game on CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Crick Info Timeout. The big stage of the Asia Cup is starting, so the big gun is back in our studio. Aakash Chopra, after a few days where he had a break, where he enjoyed his birthday, belated birthday wishes to you, Mr. Chopra.
Same to you, actually. It's not something that you can actually say to a lot of people. I can say to you.
Thank you very much. Wishes taken. We have the pleasure of Farveez Maharoof's company. He who has seen every ebb and flow of the Sri Lanka-Bangladesh rivalry. Farveez, no support from 175 million people that supported Sri Lanka 2 nights ago.
Before I start, belated wishes to both of you, 3 of us, September babies. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes, that's 7th September.
Yeah.
7th of September on our screens as well.
Incredible. Good people actually are born in September.
All right, enough about us. Farveez.
Yeah, the 175 million will be missed by Sri Lanka, but no love lost when Sri Lanka Bangladesh takes on. We know that's almost feels like a derby, big game, and to kick us off in the Super Four stage in one of the big stadiums, best stadiums in the world, I think it's going to be a showstopper. I just hope that on Sri Lankan perspective, they start where they left off in the last game, and Bangladesh they had a couple of days of waiting for the results to go their way, which went their way. Had a couple of practice sessions, so they'll be up for it. So I think this is going to be a very good game.
Yes, Bangladesh have won the toss. We can inform you they will bowl first. So Sri Lanka will get to set a score. Unlike what happened when they met last week, Sri Lanka bowled first and they really blew Bangladesh apart at the start. But we already have important news. We will confirm the lineups to you. But Farveez, I'm going to stick with you because this is quite the human story. Dunit Velalage, a lot has happened for him in the last 48 hours. He lost his father while that game was on against Afghanistan, flew back home, is back, and he remains in the 11. Just talk us through the emotion that this young cricketer would be going through.
It will be a lot for a 22-year-old. His father is someone that has helped him a lot in his career. And I know for a fact that father actually let his business go when the kids are younger to concentrate on their son's education and sports. And Velalage comes from an area which has a reputation of producing lots of national cricketers who are quite hard in themselves and very much cricket passionate. A place called Moratuwa. So it's going to be a massive occasion not only for Velalage, I think the entire nation. I think everyone will be watching this and hoping that Sri Lanka will win it and give Velalage as a tribute to the father actually. So I'm just hoping that the young boy, just concentrate on the job rather than getting overawed by the situation. And it's more than a game, definitely. I saw even Ibadat Hossain, the fast bowler of Bangladesh, who's not in the squad. He lost his father the same day as well. So quite emotional last couple of days, I should say.
Yeah, heart goes out.
It does actually. See, a lot of times we keep saying that sport builds character. But often it actually shows your character. And this was one of those times where this is the greatest loss. Losing your parent is close to the greatest loss that you can actually go through as a human being on this planet. And to come out and be available for another game of cricket, because in the end it's a game of cricket. So games, they do actually feature very low on the priority list when you think about life. But I mean, definitely heart goes out to Dunit Vela Lage. Of course, there are other incidents as well. I've seen Virat Kohli actually playing a day after he lost his father. That was in the middle of a Ranji Trophy game. That day still is very, very vivid in my memory. We remember Sachin losing his father during a World Cup in England, flew back and then came back and played and scored the runs. So, I mean, sport will keep giving us these stories where you feel for the players that, and you also realize they may be superhumans when they're actually playing the sport, but they're also humans going through the same kind of grief that you and I go through.
Yeah, heart goes out to Dunit Villalage. Our thoughts remain with him and his family, and we'll wish him well as he takes the field in what is such an important game. This the game to kick us off for the Super Fours. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have made it from the group of death. India and Pakistan have made it from Group A. And we'll take you through the fixtures, which is just going to show why there's perhaps even more riding on Bangladesh in this particular outing to kick things off in the Super Fours. Because Aakash, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka is tough enough. But look a little further down. They have to play back-to-back days. India on Wednesday, Pakistan on Thursday. That's not easy for anyone.
Oh, not at all, actually. And see, if they start with a loss, just think about it, then you run into India. I mean, that could be just game, set and match. So even though, I mean, you don't rule yourself out ever, and Bangladesh is more than capable of upsetting India, but I use the word upsetting for a reason, because India is a better side. So if you lose tonight and then you're up against India, I mean, that's going to be a Herculean task to actually be relevant by the time that game ends. So that game on Thursday might just be of no consequence whatsoever. But if you win today, even if you were to lose on Wednesday, at least you give yourself a chance in again turning around in less than 24 hours in Dubai's heat. It's not going to be easy, but at least you give yourself a chance. But the chance exists if only they win tonight.
Farveez, as much as obviously this is a bitter rivalry, I'm sure you would feel for Bangladesh for this fixture scheduling. The fixture list and the number of days that were available for the Super Fours ensured that some team would have to be in this situation. But could it have been better planned?
Some team could have been Sri Lanka if they had lost to Afghanistan. Afghanistan would have been first and Sri Lanka would have been second. So
correct.
I think playing 40 degrees back to back, it's just inhuman as far as I'm concerned, Yash. I think I was there in Dubai a month ago and that was about 44 degrees. You just can't step out for 15 minutes and stay outside. So imagine these boys have to play back to back in a high intensity T20 game. That's I think just insane as far as if the players get through it. So I think they will be tested. And the other fact is that Sri Lanka will be also looking at that fixture. Will be quite happy. They have a game in Abu Dhabi. And that's against Pakistan, where Pakistan have not played. So Pakistan have played all their games in Dubai. They'll be playing in Dubai tomorrow as well. And Sri Lanka will certainly feel that they feel comfortable playing in Abu Dhabi since they played a couple of games. And if they win this game today, I think the confidence will be even more higher going into that Abu Dhabi game, knowing that Pakistan don't know the conditions, but Sri Lanka has played 2 games already.
Yeah. Just a thought from you, since both of you agree that this feels really harsh on Bangladesh to play back-to-back, or whichever team would have ended up being in this position. Just one more double-header in the group stage would have allowed you the space of an additional off day in the Super Fours. I know tournament scheduling, especially in the subcontinent, is an area which we approach with concern, but it can be planned that way.
I mean, there is a break on Monday.
Exactly.
I mean, there is no game happening on Monday, so you could play on Monday, and then I mean, it becomes a little easier maybe, or a double header someday.
So essentially that's the problem. That's why I say you would have needed to add a double header in the group stage, because the Monday break ensures that this scenario doesn't present itself to
Twice.
2 different teams.
Okay, all right.
So you needed to create a second break is essentially what I'm saying.
Understood. So modern day cricket will not allow you 2 breaks in a week to get a Sunday final. See, that's the story. So you will need a double header. Double header is not okay with the broadcaster as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it may sound very harsh, but with the monies that we celebrate and we are super happy about, as cricketers also. This is the price that we pay. Somebody has to pay the price. It happens to be the team that finishes second in Group B. That could be Bangladesh, that could be Sri Lanka, that could have been Afghanistan for all we know. So that's the story. Yes, it is unfortunate, but I think you give some, you get some.
Somehow things tend to be tougher for Group Bs at Asia Cups.
No, it's the group of death as well. They don't say it for like without a reason. Group of death.
Yeah, and the bonus for making it out of the group of death is a grilling schedule. 2 days in the Dubai heat. We wish Bangladesh well for that, but that is of course later. There is a game to be played today, there's a game to be won today, and let's take you through the team. Sri Lanka, we can confirm, go unchanged. The 11 that beat Afghanistan to complete a 100% track record in the group of death, which of course, as we informed you, means Dunit Velalage, who flew back home after the passing away of his father, is already back, rejoined the team last night, and he is part of this team. And Farveez, you did tell us in the lead up that one spot between Velalage, Tikshana, Patirana as the call. You're satisfied with this mix?
I'm definitely satisfied. And two things. One is there are many right-handers in the middle order of Bangladesh with Liton Das, Tawhid Ridoy, Jakar Ali. So you expect Dunit Velalage to have some sort of a control in the middle overs, as well as Saif Hassan as the opening batsman. And also the other fact, batting up to number 9. So that Sri Lanka probably comfortable of having that depth in the batting. But my Tikshana for me is unlucky. I thought he would have had a close call to play this game, since it's a used pitch. We've been told usually up in Dubai the balls seem to just hold on to the pitch. That's where my Tikshana is quite dangerous with the new ball. So it would have been a tough call, but I think a sensible call has been made, mainly because so many right-handers in the middle order of Bangladesh, and also looking at getting the bat depth in the batting order.
All right, let's take a look at Bangladesh now. They made 4 changes for what was a must-win game against Afghanistan to close out the group stage. They make 2 changes here again. One of them we had come to expect while setting up this game. Mehdi Hassan, an off-spinner, with Sri Lanka having an entirely left-handed middle order. He replaces Nurul Hassan, who batted number 7 in the last game. But they remove Rishad Hossain, who was one of their better bowlers in the last win against Afghanistan, and add a seamer in Shariful Islam.
So both teams are also looking at the pitch slightly differently, because they are going in with 3 out-and-out fast bowlers, Taskin, Shariful and Mustafizur. Of course, Nasum, the way he bowled the first couple of overs against Afghanistan sealed the deal for him. There is no way anybody is going to question that anymore. Mehdi once again comes across, like you rightly mentioned, is a strategic call based on some sound tactics. But then you'll have to leave out someone. So if Nasum is not going anywhere, Mehdi has to come in, and they feel that they have a better chance of closing this game with 3 fast bowlers. Rishad will have to miss out unless you compromise on a batting slot, which is unlikely to happen. So as tough as it may sound, Shamim will give you a few overs as well, is what I think they're hoping for, and therefore you make up for the spin that you're looking. But the focus here is surely on the 3 fast bowlers to strike early and strike hard.
Yeah, this is interesting on 2 levels. But before I bring you in, Farveez, I'll just give you a quick update from the pitch report, which was done by our friend Sanjay Manjrekar, who said the pitch looks drier and will get the spinners into play, which doesn't come as a surprise at Dubai.
Dry.
The captains have a huge headache with one side very long. Tactical calls will have to be taken. The problem is every side has a left side combination. It could be long on one side, but it is the same for both sides. Now, Farveez, when you look at this Bangladesh lineup, Rishad Hossain replaced by Shariful Islam. Now, Shariful is the one who also replaced Tashkin in the group game against Sri Lanka.
First game.
So, does that have something to do with Bangladesh thinking that having multiple left-arm seamers or a new ball left-arm seamer could work against Sri Lanka?
That's the only reason I could think of as well. Bangladesh, for some reason, prefers 2 left-armers up top with Mustafiz and Shariful. As you correctly said, he did play in Abu Dhabi, did not have a greatest of game, and at that game they had the biggest shock as far as I'm concerned by leaving out Taskin Ahmed. So I think at least Taskin is playing in this game, and Shariful Islam probably can be a tactical change. But also on the other side, Sri Lanka will be quite happy that they're not facing Rishad Hossain on a pitch which is going to turn. So wrist spinner, he's the gold dust in the middle overs to pick up, because we've seen in the past, in all the good sides in world cricket, they've always had a good wrist spinner in the middle overs. You talk about Adam Zampa, Adil Rashid, Yusan Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav at the moment, Vanidu Hasaranga for Sri Lanka. So I think that's a bit of a surprise call for me. I would have been tempted to go with Rishad Hossain and probably go with two seamers, Tuskin and Mustafiz, and have Rishad Hossain in the side in place of Shariful Islam. So I mean, something is definitely cooking. But as far as I'm concerned, Sri Lanka is much more equipped with the conditions, with the side they have picked.
And even more strange almost the exclusion of Rishad, because he's enjoyed against Sri Lanka. He had a bad outing in Abu Dhabi, bowled 1 over, went for 18, but he took a 3-for in one of the bilateral series games in July. He took a match-winning 3-for in the T20 World Cup game. Now you come to Dubai, which is actually favouring spin, and you let go of your spinner.
It's an interesting one, actually, to say the least, and I do agree with Farveez. But you know what we have seen with the Bangladesh, this Bangladesh unit at least, they are coming across as a very thinking unit. So they have these horses for courses kind of selections, something that we saw in the previous game. And Shariful seems to be the guy who is indispensable when it comes to playing against Sri Lanka. He's also got some decent numbers, so maybe that is the way they think or they feel more comfortable. I think the toss-up must have been between, not Shariful actually, it must have been between, or thought must have been Nasum. Can we play Nasum? Or do we need to play Nasum because there's so many left-handers in the opposition? Or can we actually get in Rishad? And then you think of the last game and you say, no, he's undroppable. And therefore, Rishad misses out. But now it will be an interesting one where if you got a left-hand spinner and there's so many left-handers, it will be interesting. So his end is already decided upon, because we're talking about long boundaries. So Sri Lanka will have to now make sure that even though there are lots of left-handers in the middle, somehow get Daswin Shanaka in and spread them apart as much as you can, because otherwise that one long boundary can actually play into the any spinner's hand, because otherwise to a short boundary it is a tough one.
Or they're almost hoping that he gets to bowl in the power play to the two right-handed openers, but make sure he doesn't dismiss them so that he doesn't have to bowl
But
to a
you've
left-hander.
got 3 fast bowlers already, so you can't expect
Exactly,
Nasum to
got
take
three
everything.
fast bowlers.
Exactly. What makes this call from Bangladesh to go pace heavy in Dubai a little more perplexing is what we've seen in this tournament so far, because Dubai has proved to be extremely challenging for all batters, but in particular when they face spin. And Aakash, those numbers paint quite the story. It has overall been way slower in Dubai compared to Abu Dhabi, but when you look at the record against spin, the gulf gets even wider.
It is actually, it is a tough place to bat already, and it becomes tougher when you're up against spin, and if there is quality spin, of course, just add another layer of challenge. So these numbers aren't painting a wonderful picture in my opinion, because see, I do expect, anticipate, maybe want a contest between bat and ball, but any T20 game that becomes slightly lopsided in favor of the bowlers, that is not an ideal game. Maybe once in a while, yes, but if the template is of a 140, 150 kind of game after game in an international multi-nation tournament, then you start wondering that are the pitches ideal for T20 cricket, because the whole idea of T20 cricket is it has to move fast, and 140 games are not moving fast by any stretch of imagination. So these pitches, in my opinion, are slightly disappointing, because Dubai, September, October have presented better pitches in the past. That IPL and World Cup comes to my mind.
Yeah. Farveez, for Bangladesh, and let's focus on their batting now. The challenge is quite high because they haven't had any game time in Dubai at this Asia Cup, and now they come here and they have to face Hasaranga and Velalage, and I mean, who knows, there could be some overs of Asalanka as well.
Yeah, I think it will be a massive challenge for Bangladesh, and this is where I think Sri Lanka can be a bit more sensible when batting. I mean, in Abu Dhabi, we speak about pass score being 170, 175, but it drastically drops in Dubai to get to 150. I think Sri Lanka should be banking on around 150 rather than trying to score 170 and lose your way. So if Sri Lanka can manage to do that, and also remember last game Bangladesh went with 7 frontline batters with Nurul Hassan Sohan batting at number 7, and this game they're still chasing with 6 batters and Mahdi Hassan coming at number 7. So if Sri Lanka get the tactics right, if they bat well in the first 10 overs rather than losing much wickets, keeping wickets intact for the death overs and try and get 150. I think it will be a very, very interesting call. All depends on the dew as well. That will be a major factor.
Yeah.
But Sri Lanka got to be very, very mindful how they play the Bangladeshi spinners in the middle overs.
Yeah, you can see that average total batting first in Dubai, 128. Of course, it's pulled down by UAE's 57 all out. But 146 for 9 was Pakistan against UAE. So even they found it tough when playing an associate side.
Yeah.
The challenge for Bangladesh, and which is why Farveez's point about perhaps not overshooting or aiming too big when Sri Lanka tries setting the score, is that Bangladesh's batting, even though they played all 3 games in Abu Dhabi, has not had a good time at all. You look at Bangladesh's tournament so far, and they have been well behind the pace as far as their scoring rate is concerned. They've been going at just 7 per over. These are figures in Abu Dhabi, where the tournament has seen a scoring rate of almost 8 per over. There was a lot of talk, Aakash, about Bangladesh and how they've improved their 6 hitting. And I tried to build that up when we did the first game that Bangladesh were playing in this tournament. But 3 games in, they've hit 8 sixes. The balls per boundary is almost 9. And these were in what were better batting conditions in Abu Dhabi.
That's true, actually. So scoring rate of 7 and over, you're taking far too many balls to hit a boundary, not managing nearly like 3 sixes in a 20-over innings, thrice, out of which 1 game was against Hong Kong. These are not numbers that make you proud. These are not numbers that actually validate the change that you have made in terms of your approach. Something needs to change, but can it change drastically? It cannot. So what we saw against Sri Lanka in their opening encounter was the start with 2 maidens and 2 wickets gone.
Yeah.
So that is how they started. Their opening hasn't been the shining spark as far as their batting is concerned. Their reliance on Liton Das and Tauhid Hridoy to actually to bat for majority of those overs is still evident. Yes, Shamim and Jakir did very well in that very game and got them to some kind of respectability, but it's only respectability. It's not a winning total, definitely wasn't in Abu Dhabi. And here again, at least they don't have to worry about the scoring rate because that will be set by Sri Lanka. So once Sri Lanka scores, whatever they score, they know this is what we need to actually chase, and we do not have to worry about what we think about ourselves and the brand that we want to project. You just go play the total, and that's where sometimes chasing is easier.
Yeah, and as you say, the tempo will be set for them.
Yeah.
But it still involves some of the smarts, which have been a big part of the conversation in this Asia Cup, seeing the nature of the surfaces. That even if you're coming up against challenging spinners, don't dot up too much. Rotate, strike, at least get 6 of the over.
I mean, that's what you would expect. We are, I mean, for heaven's sake, we are the subcontinental teams. I mean, if we can't rotate the strike against spin, then who will? Yes, these are not your perfect batting conditions, but we play on dusty pitches. This comes naturally to us. We should not be complaining. Australia is not going to complain that the ball is bouncing a little more, or England is not going to complain, it's swinging a little more, or South Africa are going to say, oh, it's slightly faster off the surface. I mean, this is what we actually play day in, day out for years. So if the ball is spinning a little, I'm not saying go 6s, go 4s, yes, tough. But then rotating the strike is the bare minimum. So that is something that I'm expecting from both sides, to be fair, because what we saw of the pitch in that pitch report, it does not look like a pitch that is full of runs. It will provide you the opportunity to score runs. It's not a minefield, it's not a dust bowl. No, it is not. But it is a surface that's going to challenge your skill set.
Farveez, you cover so much cricket involving Bangladesh as well. You've seen a lot of cricket in the country. Will this Dubai surface feel a little more home for them, given some of the surfaces we've seen in Mirpur?
Sides will be in the same boat. I think both will be not much prepared as far as I'm concerned when it comes to preparation, because Sri Lanka just played 1 game against Hong Kong, but Bangladesh have not played anything. I think it's 50-50 for both the sides, looking at how the pitchers are prepared in their first class structure, and some of the limited overs games as well in the first class go the same way. So it's not something it's alien for these teams, but in a highly anticipated battle against 2 sides who are looking for first win of the Super Fours, this is not the ideal surface, looking at how Sanjay Manjaka described it. So this is where the challenge is. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's the middle overs. Whoever does well in the middle overs, from probably 7th over till about 15, 16, that period, whoever doesn't lose much wicket, who keeps wickets, probably rotate the strike, get 4 to 5 singles, odd boundary to come in. Again, we both agreed, me and Aakash, that it's not a 180 pitch; it's like a 145, 150. So to do that, middle overs is going to be crucial because Sri Lanka has 2 frontline spinners, 2 part-timers. Bangladesh has 2 frontline and 1 part-timer. So it's going to be plenty of spin. So whoever plays well in the middle overs, I think will have a very good shot at winning this game.
Okay, so let us focus on the middle overs of the first innings that's in front of us, because as we pointed out, with Bangladesh's team change, Mehdi Hasan coming in has been prompted by Sri Lanka having an entirely left-handed middle order, at least from numbers 3 to 6 in Mishara, Pereira, Asalanka and Kamindu Mendes. Farveez, does it almost become imperative that one of Nisanka or Kusal Mendes actually bat a little deeper so that Bangladesh at least have to contend with a right-handed batter to bowl to?
Yeah, good point, Yash. I think ideally Sri Lanka will be hoping Pathum or Kusal will bat deep into the innings, at least around the 17th, 18th over. And that's the job what Kusal Mendes did against Afghanistan, and that's one reason why Sri Lanka won comprehensively. And in case if the 2 left-handers are batting together, I think Kamil Mishar and Kusal Janit Perra will remain at 3 and 4. In case in the middle overs, if they need to change up, I think it's ideal to get Dasun Shanaga batting at 5, give him the promotion. And I mean, he's someone who has struggled against leg spin, and Rishad Hossain is not playing. So maybe this may be his day straight away to have a good couple of sighters and then play his natural game. So this can actually work in Sri Lanka way. It all depends on how the first 6 overs going to start, and one of the right-handers in Pathum or Kusal Mendes to bat deep into the innings.
Conversely, for Bangladesh, these bowling changes were also prompted by what happened in their last game against Afghanistan, where the 5th bowling duties were shared by Shamim and Saif. They went for 55 in their 4, almost cost them the match. But now, if you do reach a situation where Sri Lanka's left-handers are there, you can choose to throw those overs of Saif or Shamim.
Correct. You got 2 off-spin part-time options. And part-time options work all right when the pitch has something to offer. So on a flatter pitch, part-timers have no role to play in modern-day T20 cricket or even modern-day wide ball cricket. But if there is something to offer, then you can actually get your part-timers to roll the arm over and actually be effective and economical. So that's what they would be expecting and hoping. But okay, if prima facie, if we say that Sri Lanka is a better side and Bangladesh is slightly inferior given the current track record in this tournament itself, the smaller the total, the closer the teams. So Bangladesh should not mind it one bit. Put pressure on Sri Lanka because the onus is now on Sri Lanka to score enough to push Bangladesh in the second innings. Maybe there is due, maybe it's not. I don't know. But at least keep pushing Sri Lanka that you get to a total that you feel is very comfortable to defend. And 180 is not happening. 150 is never comfortable.
Right. It is almost time for the start. We've seen the teams observe a minute's silence to pay respect to Dunit Velalage's departed father, Suranga Velalage, and the Sri Lankan players will also be wearing black armbands for this game as a mark of respect. Farveez, back on the game, set up the power play for us. How do you see it panning out?
Interesting one. I think Sri Lanka will know best time to bat in this pitch would be with the new ball. So will they go hard in the power play? That's a question to be asked, because they know once the ball loses the hardness, the shine, the seam becomes softer. It will be a tough task in the middle overs. So all in all, if Sri Lanka gets something close to 40-45, losing 1 wicket, I think that will be the game plan for Sri Lanka, and they should be happy about it.
That's the other bit which is a little confounding about Bangladesh going pace heavy in this game, because yes, they played 3 games in Abu Dhabi and perhaps they have been affected a bit by that. There was power play assistance, there was new ball assistance for seam in Abu Dhabi, but if you look at power play wickets for pacers, Abu Dhabi was 19, Dubai is 10.
Nothing, yeah, that's true. And I mean, Bumrah has bowled 3 overs twice,
Yeah.
and he hasn't walked away with 3 wickets apiece, like in the 2 games. So, so you know that it's not assisting the faster bowlers as much. But I'm willing to wait and watch. Yes, prima facie, it looks like they made a mistake. Rishad should play. They've not probably played the right kind of 11. Maybe it's just the lack of knowledge with regards to Dubai, even though they should not be, because we are subcontinental teams, and we are seeing a tournament getting played out on a pitch which is quite similar to what we get at home, Chittagong or Mirpur, wherever. So those kind of errors should not happen in judgment. I feel it's a tactical thing, and tactics are either right or wrong only after they're executed. So let's wait and watch. I think Sri Lanka will be obliged to go a little too hard too soon because of the kind of form that Pathum Nissanka is in, the kind of batters that you already have in the top 3. And you also know, like Farveez said, this is the best time to bat, and they've got pacers. Let's wait how it plays out.
I want to take that question around the openers to you as well that I posed to Farveez. Yes, you want to make the most of the first 6 overs, but is it perhaps important for one of the two to bat deeper, to break the left-hand flow that comes later?
See, that's ideal. That's ideal because for 2 reasons. One, of course, you just can't have one unidimensional batting lineup on a pitch that is assisting spin and on a ground that has one side really big. So that both factors actually add to the difficulty. So you want one of the two to bat deeper, but that guy has to be, I think, Pathum Nissanka, because the other guy just goes hard.
Can you set up to do that though? Because Pathum Nissanka, the 2 knocks of note that he's had, have been 50 of 34 and 68 of 44. So this is not a guy who waits it out in the power play, and neither does Kusal Mendes, as you point out.
Kusal Mendes, I don't expect him to actually play any other brand of cricket, but with Pathum Nissanka, I have hope. I think he's got he's got a bit more patience as compared to a Kusal Mendes.
All right. Let us get into first innings score predictions. Farveez, I'll give you the first word before Aakash tries to give us the neutral word.
Power play score, you mentioned 45 for 1. I would say 148, 149. Sri Lanka will be happy, and they probably will get that.
So setting just about 150 as per Farveez.
153.
Oh, you're going that close.
Yeah.
153 says Aakash Chopra. 148 to 149. 150 games do tend to be the closest kind of games.
Interesting ones, yeah. I don't mind an interesting game.
On these surfaces, 150 means close. And Farveez, I had set it up 48 hours back. I'm yearning to see a Sri Lanka humdinger with you on our coverage. It's been a while. We've had a couple of matches which were a bit one-sided.
It's been a while. I'm looking forward to this. Is going to be a good one. I'm having that feeling, a lot of emotions in the Sri Lankan dressing room. I just hope that they keep everything together and put up a good show today.
Yeah. And just because you've spent so much time with the people who are in that camp, Sanat Jayasuriya, it is obviously such a delicate situation handling Velalage and what he's going through. What do you think the conversation would have been as he got back into this side and to prepare him for a game right now?
I don't think he had any time to train in the last couple of days since he went back to Sri Lanka just for 15, 16 hours, came back. And I also think Sri Lanka cricket did the right thing by sending him back, and also not sending him back by himself. They actually sent the team manager alongside him. And since Dunit Velalage is 22, you never know with his emotions what the young man will go through, especially when you're in a different country. So I think when it comes to off the field, all these little matters being taken care of, and this is what matters for a player. When you're being given that attention, when you're given that love, that's what you want from a player's perspective. Give your all to the national side, and hats off to Dunit Velalage, heart of steel, to come back and not even waiting for his father's last ritual, which is going to happen tomorrow, to come back. So that's why I said a lot of emotions in that dressing room, a lot of support for Dunit Velalage. The entire country is backing Velalage and the national team. This is more than a game, that's for sure.
Yeah, can only wish him well, can only wish him all the strength as he copes with this. Thank you, Farveez. Thank you, Aakash. Your predictions were in the 149 to 153 range, but I've loaded up the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app on my CMF Phone 2 Pro, and I can inform you that ESPN Cricinfo forecaster has Sri Lanka at 158. So let's see where Sri Lanka do end. A range of 148 to 158 between the collective might of Maharoof, Chopra and ESPN Cricinfo Smart Stats. We'll pick up the conversation at the end of the Sri Lankan innings. Be sure to join us then on CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
best budget phone out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search now on Flipkart.